Hi and welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here, welcome. My name's Simone. Today I'm going to do a video on the transitional stage of labour, sometimes known as the last bit of the first stage. I have had 3 children, and if you're new here, I've had 3 completely different types of births. I've had an emergency C-section after 36 hours of labour. I've had a 6-hour labour at home after the C-section, and I've also had a hospital water birth after about 24 hours of labour. So I've had completely different experiences, and what I'm wanting to do is make lots of different videos on what I found useful and what can hopefully help mums to be out there with their labours as well. So in this particular video I wanted to talk about this transitional stage. My baby, he's 9 months old and he's just here at the side of me, so sorry if it's a bit noisy. So yeah, so I just wanted to basically talk about how to recognise the transitional stage. Now, I've read up on it so much, and I thought with my second birth that I'd read up on it so much that I would recognise it and I wouldn't be freaked out, but I didn't recognise it. And then with my third labour, I didn't as well, but the circumstances surrounding each birth, I think that's probably why I didn't recognise that I was in the transitional stage. So I'm hoping that some of the things that I struggled with, hey Mike, I'm hoping that some of the things that I struggled with in them stages, I'll be able to cover them, and hopefully if you're in labour you'll be thinking, okay, yeah, I recognise that, no need to panic. So one of the first things that I would say is you might not know when or if you're in the transitional stage, like I said. But one of the signs I've experienced and I've read with other women is saying I can't do it. So you calm, you're getting through the contractions fine, and then the next minute you're saying I can't do it. That's one of the first. Being even more emotional than what you are, so you might start crying, you might start panicking, saying you're scared, like I said, saying you can't do it. You might start asking for drugs, like all this time you might have not had any kind of like pain medication. Then all of a sudden you're like, I need the epidural, get me a C-section, I just want the baby out. That is another sign that you're in that period. Another one is when you're being examined and you're over 7 centimetres, because usually the transitional stage is when you are between 7 and 10 centimetres, and then you know you're going to be ready to, you know, the baby's come down and you're going to be ready to like birth the baby. So if you're examined, you know, with me, I was examined with my son and I was stuck at 7 centimetres for a long time, but it wasn't until, I'd say the last hour, I must have just gone from 7 to 10 centimetres, freaked out in that hour, and then I was ready to push. So even though they check you at 7 centimetres, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in that transitional stage, but it could be a sign. So sweating hot or cold and feeling nauseous, shaking, vomiting, sweating, feeling hot or cold or nauseous, just not being able to feel comfortable. So you might be getting on the ball or walking around and you just can't get comfy. You just feel really agitated and anxious. You could feel scared or really fearful. And another one, which you might have seen on documentaries before, like birthing documentaries, is when the woman's really calm and then all of a sudden just starts panicking. I saw one woman who was having a water birth, and I thought she was going to drown. She was just so calm, and then all of a sudden she's like, her hands are going everywhere, she's nearly going under the water, she's just seriously freaking out. Well, that's a sign. And so I've just got my notes here. So losing your inhibitions. So yeah, it's, you know, some women are just stripped totally naked, just not bothered. They just, you know, especially if they're hot or they're cold, they just want to get comfortable and just really, like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but it's just a complete, I don't know, for me it was just like I just completely changed from this calm, chilled out person managing the contractions with no medication except for essential oils. Then that transitional period, I'm crying, I can't do it, grabbing hold of my husband, I'm getting on the ball and I'm getting on the floor and I'm moving and I'm freaking out. It's just a whole heap of mixed emotions. It's such a short period of time, because with the transitional period they say it can last between 10 to 15 minutes or even longer. It could be like a couple of hours. So you may feel pressure and you may feel the urge to push. You may also feel like pressure on your back package as well. So your back passage as well. So you might feel like you need to have a number 2. With me, with my daughter, I think she was probably down there for a long time because I constantly kept needing to go to the toilet every time I got a contraction. Longer contractions, more intense, so you might have been able to breathe through them nicely, and then all of a sudden they come on a lot stronger, and they might be closer together. So that's a sign as well. For me, it definitely happened. I was managing really fine with both of the labours, but then I'd say when I was in that period, they just really ramped up, and it like knocked me a bit. I was like, wow, I've really got to try and cope with these. And you just have this sense sometimes of like, what do I do? And you're just panicking and freaking out a little bit. And another thing is you might feel like nothing helps. You might be having a back rub or walking around or doing your breathing or whatever, but nothing just seems to help. That's another sign that you're in that stage. You know, you see it sometimes when the woman's in the transitional stage and she's asking for drugs, and you know, no one's recognised it. They go and get the epidural and everything, but by the time they've got the drugs and they're about to administer it, the baby's almost ready to come. So I would say that, I mean, I'm going to cover this in the next video, but if you learn these signs and your birth partner is able to learn these signs, it can just really help you to recognise it when you're in labour and think, right, okay, then the baby's going to be here soon because of all these signs that I'm having. But like I said, when you're in that moment, because you're not thinking with the thinking side of your brain, you're thinking more with the like primal part, and you're just concentrating on getting through each contraction, it can be really difficult to think, right, okay, this checklist here, I'm definitely in that stage. And even if someone said it to you, look, the baby's coming, you're like, no, I can't do it, and you're freaking out and everything because your body is just going from that 7 to 10 centimeters, and it's not long until the baby comes. So I really hope that you found all this information useful, and if you did, please give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you've had a baby before and you've experienced these types of things, or I might have missed some things off, then please leave a comment for other mums to have a read of. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.